You know, if you look at scores of countries around the world, they could make claims about territories that at one point or another they control. But the truth of the matter is, even though Israel has definitely historical affinity to the land, it has definitely religious affinity to the land, but that was 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. You have also to consider what is the Palestinian affinity. These are the indigenous people who have been living there for hundreds and hundreds of years. What about their right? So yes, whereas you have this historic or religious right that has to be reconciled with the reality on the ground. And this is really what the Israelis must understand. The Palestinians exist, they will continue to exist, and regardless of who owned this land 2 or 3 or 4,000 years ago, that is not going to change the reality on the ground today. And the sooner the Israelis realize that, the better it's for Israel and the better it's for the Palestinians. Well, you know, since by end of the World War I and certainly subsequent to World War II, the occupation has become simply unacceptable. If you look at the United Nations Charter, it's very clear. People have the right to be free. People have the right to run their life as they see fit. And sadly, I should say, there isn't one single country today that's considered to be occupied, with the exception of the West Bank, and the occupier is Israel itself. That should not be the case. Israel should not appear to be a pariah state. And it is time for the Israelis to think very carefully. What will happen tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Is this current situation sustainable? I think it's not.